Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. The theme of this episode is relationship drama. So let's get into it. The title of the first story is Am I overreacting for asking my wife to stay at her mom's after I caught her putting something odd in my coffee? I'm 46 male, really shaken, and need advice to know if I went too far. My wife, 49 female, and I have been married for 4 years, together for 7. She's always been so kind, always making my morning coffee, and we've had a good life together. English isn't my first language. I speak it well, but sometimes I struggle to explain feelings, so bear with me. For the past few weeks, I've been feeling off after drinking my coffee. Dizzy, nauseous, sometimes my hands shake. I thought maybe it was work stress or something I ate. But 2 days ago, I came home early and saw my wife in the kitchen dropping some kind of powder into my coffee mug from a small, unmarked vial. It wasn't sugar or creamer. It looked strange, like medicine, or worse. When she saw me, she slipped the vial into her pocket and said it was just a new coffee mix. But her voice was shaky, and she wouldn't look at me. That evening, I asked her calmly to tell me what it was. She said it was a natural supplement to help me feel better, but she couldn't say what it was or why there was no label. I got scared. Those symptoms I've been having aren't normal, and she's never hidden things before. I told her I needed space to think and asked her to stay at her mom's for a few days. She got upset, started crying, and said I was overreacting and breaking her trust. She left last night, and now she's texting me, saying it was nothing harmful and I'm making a big deal out of it. I kept the vial, but I'm too nervous to test it. I love her. She's my everything. But I'm scared she might be putting something bad in my coffee. Am I overreacting for asking her to leave? I can't sleep and keep checking the locks on the door, feeling paranoid in my own home. Please tell me if I'm wrong here. Not wrong at all. And this reminds me heavily of the story of the girl that was poisoning her husband by putting Visine in his coffee. Which don't take this as, I don't even know what to call it, but it's crazy. But I'm pretty sure she put a couple drops of Visine in his coffee every day and it slowly poisoned him and he died. I listened to a true crime podcast about it. I can't remember the other details, but that's insane to me. That's insane to me. And it's totally okay to feel paranoid about that. I would be fucking scared out of my mind if that was if I saw my partner that I trust and love so much with my entire life and soul putting something in my coffee and not being able to explain what it is or say the name of what it is, because clearly if you looked it up, you'd probably find out that it's something not good. But there's an update, so let's read. Thank you all for your response. You guys really helped me clear my head. I was hesitant, but I called 911 and they said they'll look into it. I'm feeling worse each day, dizzy, weak, and my stomach is still off, so I'm heading to the hospital today to get checked out. My wife keeps texting, begging to come back and saying it was just herbal energy boost she found online, but she still can't explain why she did it. I told her to stay at her mom's until I know more. I'm scared and exhausted, but I'll keep you all updated when I get answers. Thanks for making me feel like I'm not crazy. Well, first of all, I don't know how he's even sleeping. I know he said that he can barely sleep, but the fact that he's sleeping in that house, I would be so scared. I would have to go stay somewhere. I feel like I would just go stay in a hotel, honestly. Obviously, not everyone has the resources to do so, but I would be so actually paranoid that I would not be able to sleep. Oh my gosh. I feel like he could just get his blood drawn and they could test what is in his blood and they could figure it out pretty easily. But there is an update. There's a final update that we're going to read. So I hope we know after this. Hey everyone, I'm at the hospital. Sorry for not keeping you guys updated. I'm not feeling very well right now. Thanks for all of your comments and support. The doctors ran some tests and said there's something off in my blood work, but they don't know exactly what yet. They're sending some samples to a lab, and it will take a couple days to get results. They told me to stay here for observation because my symptoms, dizziness, nausea, shaking, so it's getting worsened very quick. I gave the vial to the police when they stopped by earlier, and they're testing it. They didn't say much, but their faces freaked me out. My wife keeps calling and texting, sobbing, saying she's so sorry and it was just some herbal remedy from a friend to help me. But she's still dodging my questions about why she hid it. And it's making my head spin. I told her we can't talk until I'm out of here, until I know what's going on. She's at her mom's, but her texts are so frantic, it's breaking my heart. I love her, but I don't think I can ever trust her ever again. I'm stuck in this hospital bed, and I feel so alone. I'll keep you guys updated when I hear from the lab or the police. Oh, Lord, wait. This is 2 days ago. I really wish there was an update, guys. There's no update. Ugh. I really was hoping that we were going to actually find out, like, what happened, but let's read some comments and see if anyone, like, has kind of more information about stuff like that. Someone said, even if it was herbal, hiding it makes it shady. That's enough to get cops involved. Also, who decides to give their partner a supplement without consent? That is not normal, and I'd be so livid. I don't think it's just a supplement, though. It should be tested. OP needs to be checked immediately. It's absolutely not a supplement, and you could literally just say, hey, this will actually help you with whatever he was complaining about, if he was even complaining about anything, and be like, I think you should take it. I got it for you. Like, I bought it for you. Here you go. And if you want to take it, let me know. I'll put it in your coffee every day so you don't even have to worry about it. Boom. Done. Easy money. Like, not sure why you have to hide that from your partner. Probably because you're poisoning him to death, I'm assuming. Someone said, I considered slipping my ex a probiotic. He has some horrible bowel issues and refused to see a doctor, and he wouldn't take one, insisted that it's normal to pass so much gas and take 30 minutes in the bathroom many times a day. He had problems at work because of it. I didn't do it, but the thought crossed my mind a lot, and I still think I should have done it. Oh my gosh. Someone said, my ex slipped me probiotics and got me hospitalized. I was on multiple immunosuppressants. I have lupus and was newly diagnosed trying to get my disease under control, and was also on an antibiotic to treat a UTI. My UTI ended up becoming a severe kidney infection, and my lupus medications suddenly became way less effective, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. My ex's friend admitted that my ex had been slipping me probiotics because he was trying to punish me for being stupid. He thought they would just make me gassy like they did for him. Instead, I had a nice 5-day stay at the hospital while I got pumped full of medications to get everything back under control. It's fine, though. He shit himself while he was in the car with the woman he was cheating on me with after he ran out of probiotics and didn't pick more up. Karma had my back on that one. Holy shit. Yeah, that's probably why you don't do that. Like, what the hell is that? What? Did you do that, like, probiotics to make her, like, shit or what? Because I feel like you would just do, like, laxatives or something, which don't ever fucking do that. That's crazy. All right, we're going to move on to the next story. I'm really sad that we don't have a freaking conclusion to that. But the title is, my 25 female boyfriend, 27 male, called me selfish for wanting him to leave his boys' night early due to me grieving. Where do I go from here? I've tried posting this so many times. I've never used Reddit before. I've only seen videos, but I'm hoping to get some much-needed insight. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 4 years. Our relationship has been very good for the most part. Some fights here and there, but nothing wrong. But nothing worth noting until a week ago. I got a call from my brother telling me my mom had passed away last Friday. Growing up, I was never super close with her. We were usually fighting. But over the last 5 years, our relationship improved tremendously. We would text throughout the week, and every Sunday, I would go on 4 to 5 hour drives with her on speaker to keep me company, talking about anything and everything under the sun. She became my best friend. For context, my boyfriend knows how close we had gotten, and had even joined me for some of those drives. Now, here's the problem. My boyfriend has a fairly close friend group that he keeps up with, usually gaming with them throughout the week. And then once a month, him and his friends will hang out and drink. He let me know a few days prior that he would be hanging out with them that Friday. When I got the news, I immediately called him, breaking down and telling him I didn't know what to do and that I knew I needed to be with him tonight. He went from consoling me to saying, I let you know a few days ago I have plans with my friends. I only get to see them once a month. I told him I understood, but I really needed him, and I'm sure they would reschedule. To which he said they definitely wouldn't be able to, as they all have their own responsibilities. After some more times going back and forth, I gave in and said I would be okay with him going as long as he left early. Since he leaves at 7 p.m., I said I would like him to be back by 11. He agreed. I spent the night going through texts with her, photos, everything I could. I tried to distract myself with other things, but nothing worked. Eventually, 10 p.m. rolls around and I text my boyfriend, will you be leaving in an hour? To which he responds, you told me 12, so I'll be leaving then. I told him I said 11 and I was standing by that. He didn't respond after and he came home at 12. I asked him, why didn't he reply? And why didn't he just come back an hour earlier? He immediately got upset with me, telling me I was being selfish for ruining his night with his friends. Him spending an extra hour there means nothing since he still left early, and I would be fine since I didn't spend my childhood with her anyways. I told him I don't even want him to go out with them that day to begin with, since I had just gotten the news, but I agreed under that specific condition, and so had he. He could also just catch up with his friends when they gamed during the week. The fight ended with him telling me I was again being selfish, as he doesn't get to see them in person often, and that I shouldn't expect him to drop everything for me. We've been fairly cold to each other since, which has left me overthinking and reevaluating our relationship. On one hand, I'm extremely heartbroken he wasn't there for me, and no, that's not something that I want for my future, but on the other hand, his words have definitely gotten to me, and I feel bad for separating him from his friends. I also know it would break me more to lose someone else so close to me. Where do I go from here?
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
Break up. Break up. Ew, I don't like this man at all. I don't like this guy. I actually despise him. If my boyfriend told me that his mom just passed away, regardless of what their relationship was growing up, even if she hadn't ended up getting super close to her within the past few years, I would still be canceling my plans immediately. Like, you would not even have to ask me, because I would be like, oh, well, obviously this takes priority. Your mom just died and you're probably in the worst headspace right now and the most sad that you've ever been in your entire life. Yeah, I'm going to be there for you because I love you and I care about you. You're actually the one being selfish because all you care about is yourself and being able to hang out with your friends. Like, you can't hang out with your friends next week, as if, like, it's not every day that your girlfriend's mom dies. It actually only happens once. So you could be there for her, and then guess what? Reschedule to next week, or dang nabbit, the next month, the next 2 months. I don't care. If my friends couldn't hang out with me for a year after that, if they couldn't reschedule for another year, I still would pick my significant other's mom dying and being there for them over hanging out with my friends. I wouldn't be able to even hang out with my friends because I would be, if while I was hanging out with my friends, I would just be so sad and feel so bad for my significant other for having to put up with that and deal with that and be grieving and being so upset. So, I mean, imagine how is he going to support you in the future when other things happen in life, because bad things happen throughout your entire life, and big things that matter. How is he going to support you? How is he going to support you? He's not. He's a fucking asshole. Top comments: if my mother passed away and my partner didn't come home from being with his friends, that would be it for me. He's trying to tell you what he didn't do was bad because he told you it was happening. You weren't close with her in childhood and is genuinely trying to make it your problem. You're grieving and your boyfriend of 4 years doesn't think it's a big deal. Create a plan and end this relationship. 1,000,000%. Because tell me why you think you weren't close to her in childhood. See, this is the same thing as the other freaking episode that we did about this story with the sister in the ring, that she, like, why do you think that it's okay to tell someone if they can grieve to a certain extent about someone passing away in their life? It just really is so messed up. It's like, wow, you're so kind. You're such a kind person. You're very understanding. Someone said he is totally Darvoing her. OP, DARVO is shorthand for classic abuser responses. It stands for deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. Your BF did all of them. He denied that he agreed to come home at 11. He attacked you for asking him for emotional support, and then made himself the victim of your demands, instead of letting you be the child who just lost her mother and needs emotional support. OP, get out now. This is a man who will always choose his needs over yours. Sounds like the boys are more important to him than his girlfriend and her intense grief. My wife would have filed for divorce the next day if I went out with friends after her mother passed last year. And she would be 100% valid in that as well. I've treated complete strangers as more of a priority than your boyfriend treats you. If I had met someone that day and they found out their mom just died, I wouldn't leave them to go drinking, let alone if they were someone I cared about. End it. This guy doesn't care about you at all. All right. This is August 9th, 2025, 2 days later, update. I want to start off by saying thank you so much to everyone that commented. I spent a good while reading every single comment, so for everyone that gave me advice and shared their stories, please know I'm extremely grateful for you. I also really appreciate everyone that gave me their condolences. Now for the update. A little while after posting, one of my boyfriend's friends reached out to me. He asked me if I had posted it, because if I did, he had something to tell me. I said yes, and he told me before my boyfriend left for their boys' night, he had started complaining about me to everyone there, telling them I was being psycho and forcing him to leave. He completely lied about my relationship with my mom and told them I wasn't close with her at all. Rarely talked to her. Anytime I mentioned her, I did nothing but talk shit about her, and that I was using her death as a way to control him. I also learned throughout our entire relationship he would tell his friends about every fight of ours, and again, would completely lie about everything that happened in them. For context, I'm not close with any of his friends, and he had apparently told them that I was faking my personality whenever I interacted with them and shit-talked them when they weren't around as well. Ironic. So I don't necessarily blame them for believing it. The only reason why his friend reached out was because my boyfriend had done the same thing in past relationships, and he was starting to get suspicious and tired of it. I confronted my boyfriend about it afterwards, and he denied everything for a while before ultimately admitting to it all. He started crying, saying he doesn't know why he's like this, but that he loves me and he can't live without me. Anything and everything you can think of, he said. I packed whatever I could and told him I needed time to think. I'd be staying with my brother in the meantime, as I had to drive out to go to my mom's funeral and go through her things. So, for the few that asked if I had another support system, my family lives a few states away, as my boyfriend and I started out long distance, and I moved away from them a couple of years ago for him. The few new friends I made are away traveling for the summer, which I couldn't join in on for numerous reasons. I also couldn't get out of bed for the majority of the week, so I didn't leave sooner. What he didn't know at that time was that I didn't need time to think, and I had already decided I would not be coming back. As I said in my original post, there was nothing awful worth noting about him during our relationship. He didn't treat me exceptionally well, but not terrible either. So, prior to his friend reaching out, I genuinely didn't know what to think of the situation. To me, it was out of character for him. My main thought was the news of her passing might have hurt him a lot as well, and he didn't know how to handle it. But I now know that he was an entirely different person with his friends, and what was out of character for me was completely in character for them. It definitely scares me to think of what would happen if I didn't post and never learned the things that he was saying when I wasn't around. I also have no clue what I would do if another life-changing event happened and he put something else above being there for me. So to everyone that wanted an update, just know I have completely removed him from my life. No amount of tears and fake apologies will convince me otherwise. He wasn't there when I needed him, and that's enough. But the lying and fake stories he would share on top of that is terrifying. I know my mom would rip me a new one if she heard all of this, and I did anything other than leave him. I will always be grateful for this little corner of the internet and the awful future it saved me from. See, another thing that stands out to me is just like, it's the same thing, but it's him saying that like you weren't close at all. You never talked to her. All you did was talk shit about her. Even if that were true, all of those things were true about the relationship with the mom, she would still have every right to be upset and still have every right to expect someone that loves her and that is her partner to be there for her. She still has every right. Like, even if you're no contact with your parents and you haven't talked in years, you still have every right to be upset if they passed away. Like, and if you're not upset, like, I feel like even if you hated your parents, and you're like specifically your mom, and your mom did terrible things to you growing up, you still have every right to be upset about them passing away. Like, someone passing away is a huge thing. That means they're gone forever. And we don't know what happens after. And like, that leaves a lot of questions and a lot of grief and a lot of regret and a lot of so many things, a lot of guilt that bring, even if your parents did something terrible to you that they deserve to literally rot in hell for, you still have every right to feel upset about them passing away. Obviously, like, the other way around as well, if you're like, but I feel like even people that do have that experience with like their mom or their dad doing something absolutely awful to them, or just like treating them awfully and abusing them throughout their whole entire childhood, or whatever the case is, a lot of people, and not saying like you have to be sad about it, but I've heard many stories where people are still very sad and they have a lot of guilt about not talking to that family member, even though you were completely valid in not speaking to them and they did terrible things to you. Like, they still were upset about it. Like, you have every right to be upset. I don't know how much more I could explain. Like, obviously I'm beating a dead horse right now, but it's just really pissing me off that people think they have the audacity to tell you what you can and can't be grieving over. And it's your mom. It's your mom. That is even crazier to me. We are going to move on to the advice segment. If you ever want unprofessional, I'm not a therapist. I'm not licensed in any way to be giving professional advice. Please keep that in mind. I'm just your bestie giving you advice as best as I can. Okay? So you can call. Oh, also, literally every time I'm going to do this, there's also a little part where you can do confessions on the Google form, and that Google form is in the link in the description. You can either do an advice question or a confession on there. You'll see once you click on it, it will give you instructions, or you can call 561-264-7017 and leave a voicemail, either saying a confession or asking for advice on the voicemail as well. Okay, we are going to read this. It says, first off, I wanted to say that I love your videos. I've been watching for a while now and I need some advice. I'm 26 female and my boyfriend, 32 male, have been having some issues. Recently, I feel disconnected. We only see each other once a week for valid reasons. We both work. He works more than me, and we have opposite schedules. We agreed Saturdays would always be the day that I sleep over since I'm off work Sunday, and so is he. This week, I got sick and called out of work. He said he still wanted me to sleep over. Tested negative for COVID. This Saturday, we were texting about how his friends wanted to go out, but he said himself that he would be willing to stay home with me. And then in like 20 minutes, he switched up and told his friends he was going out. Now I have trust issues, yes, but I do trust him. But he immediately started accusing me of thinking he's cheating when the point was I wanted him to take care of me. I'm sorry if this is selfish, but I want to be with a man that will drop everything to take care of me, and he made it seem like he would. Now, I do have mental health issues. I don't want to specify, but that's a huge trigger for me, and he knows that. To switch up, it makes me feel abandoned. I didn't sleep all night because of my anxiety. Next morning, he's saying I made it a big deal out of something so small, and he canceled his plans even though I told him I'm not coming over anymore because I don't want to feel like a burden and him to hold this against me. I don't think he's cheating. That's not the point. But he doesn't understand. I feel like he used to, but not anymore. Lately, we don't see eye to eye. Should we just break up? There's more stuff, but I don't want to make this long. Am I overthinking or overreacting? Am I being selfish for saying I wasn't comfortable with him going out with his friends? All they do is go out, and to be honest, they aren't as faithful to their significant others. So yeah, it makes me uncomfortable, but I'm just seen as crazy. I don't know what to do. Any advice is appreciated. Thank you so much. Sorry if this is all over the place. I haven't gotten much sleep. XOXO. I I hate to always be suggesting breakup, and I always say that, but yeah, I would break up because he's 32, first of all, and I'm not saying that you can't go out and have fun with your friends when you're 32. But like, I feel like at a certain age, you start to not want to as much, and that's just like a part of maturing. And I don't think you're being selfish in wanting your significant other to want to like take care of you. I would totally think that it was valid for my boyfriend to want me to take care of him when he was sick. Like, that's the whole point of being partners. I mean, not the whole point, but you know what I mean. Like, I feel like I want to take care of my boyfriend when he gets sick. I want to be there for him. I want to try to help him get better because I love him and I don't want him to feel sick and I want him to get better as soon as possible. And he does the same for me. And he would completely cancel plans to take care of me. If I was sick, he would literally call off work. He'd be like, if I was really sick and I really like needed him to stay home, he would call off work and take care of me. Like, I don't think that it's wrong to expect that of a partner and want that from a partner. I don't think it's selfish of you at all. And you, I'm sure, would do the same thing for him. Like, I'm sure you would also be taking care of him. And then on top of that, you guys don't get to see each other as much. And he's like taking the opportunity to see you and just completely ignoring it and going and hanging out with his friends. And I just also think that as a 32-year-old man, like, he should just be more mature and he shouldn't be like doing all of this. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about him going out all the time with his friends. I'm sorry, but like, I'm 27 and I barely go out with my friends, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that at 27, but I do think that at a certain point, as you get older, when you're mature and you mature, like, and you're emotionally mature or even just like mature in general, you start to want to be more adult like, and going out every weekend with your friends and drinking and getting drunk and your friends are cheating on their significant others is an immature thing to do. Like, that is just immature. Also, I would also feel uncomfortable if my boyfriend was hanging out with a bunch of cheaters. Not to say that that means he's cheating, but I do think that the people you surround yourself with is who you turn out to be, and you are most likely to think that if everyone else around you thinks that that's okay or think this is normal, it's normalizing that, then like that will make it seem like it's not that big of a deal, and then possibly could lead to them cheating on you. And I'm not saying I think that he's cheating on you, but you know what I mean? Like, they're normalizing it obviously in their friend group. It seems like there's just a lot of things that just aren't good in this relationship, and it seems like at the age of 32 you would be expecting someone super mature that would want to take care of you and that wouldn't be acting like this, and he is not that. So I would say you can do a lot better, and you will end up with someone a lot better, especially if you take into account the things that you're learning from this relationship and you're realizing that like these are the things that you want in a relationship. Don't accept any less from your next partner, and that will really help you to like have a better partner. But yeah, I think that you should break up, honestly. I really do. If your needs aren't being met, like emotionally, then I don't see the point. And he's also making it seem like you are blowing everything out of proportion and you're like in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. And he should be understanding that you want your partner to take care of you. Girl, I'm on your side. Seriously. Seriously, I'm on your side. I completely understand everything and I agree with everything that you're saying. And usually when you love someone, like, you want to see them. Like, if I didn't see my boyfriend a lot during the week and we only got 1 day or 2 days or even 3 days, like a week to see each other, I would try my hardest. Like, I would be so sad. I would cancel any plans to be able to hang out with my boyfriend if I only got to see him limited time. And I know that would be the same vice versa. So I feel like the saying, if he wanted to, he would, is a big thing. And I think here that definitely applies. Like, if he wanted to, he would. And he's not. He's actually not being a good partner at all. So I love you, girl, and you deserve better. But that's the advice question. And I really hope that you get it figured out. And I hope that if you do end up breaking up, I hope that you're okay. And I wish you a lot of healing. And I love you. And thank you so much for submitting the advice question. Let me know if you guys have any advice, or if you have any thoughts about stories, or if you have any advice for this advice question. Leave it in the comments, and I love you guys so much. I'm going to go film a Patreon episode. The Patreon is linked in the description below. I do one every Saturday at 8 a.m. So I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.